Alrighty, hi there folks, my name's NovaWing24 and this is a special edition of the NovaWrap today. We're able to get a great interview today with the lovely Aimee Sanjari from DoveTail Games. Hi Aimee.
Hello.
So Amy's joining us today for a couple of quick, short little interview, just wrapping up her experiences that she had, of course, at FlightSimCon, and of course going through some of the outstanding and great events that are going to be coming up in the flight simulation world. So, Amy, before we get started, of course, the mandatory sort of interview question that has to be asked every time. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your role there at Dovetail Games.
Well, I'm the brand manager for flight simulation here at DoveTail Games, and it's an all-encompassing role. I work with development, retail, marketing, community, pretty much everybody in order to make sure that our flight simulation franchise.
Ah, so variety is definitely the spice of life then, hey? Oh, Amy, I've lost all your audio at the moment.
Oh, how's that?
There we go. Here we go. We got that back there.
I accidentally pressed the mute button.
That's okay. It happens to the best of us, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So as you were saying, so you encompass not only just dealing with the community, but also with developers, and actually, as you say, an all-encompassing role there as part of being part of the brand manager.
Yeah. It's a little bit of everything.
Oh, fantastic! And from checking out things, it seems to take you to quite a few little adventures around the world.
Oh yeah, definitely. Traveling is one of the best parts I think of the job, and getting to meet new people who are passionate about flight simulation
Oh,
everywhere. It's great.
oh, fantastic! So speaking of which, so tell us a little bit. So as I said, you've just come back from FlightSimCon. Now, have you been to FlightSimCon in the US before?
No, I hadn't. I've heard about it previously, but this was my first year there, so so it was an amazing experience. I'm really glad I went.
Oh, fantastic! And tell me, so because I was fortunate enough to speak with Zach from the organising committee not long before it all took place. So tell me, what do you think? What was your overall experience at FlightSimCon?
It was fantastic. It was a great all-around experience. The New England Air Museum was a great venue. It was all very organized, very professional, and there were an amazing variety of exhibitors, developers, community groups there as well. Um, it's it's thrilling, especially when you go to another country to see uh, people who are just as passionate about something as you are, and I definitely got that feeling at Flight SimCon.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. And you mentioned the developers and some of the virtual aviators that you got to meet during the weekend. So, what can you tell us about the people that share our passion for virtual aviation and how it was for them and for you to meet them and for them to meet you?
Yeah, I mean, it was it was great. I know I'm saying that a lot, but I mean, I got to I got to meet people from organizations like FlightSim.com, people from ThatSim, people from community groups, Boston Virtual ATC, of course, and IVAO, and it's I mean it's such a great environment when you have people who are into the same thing you are, especially to the extent that we flight simulators kind of get involved with things. Um, there's always something to.
I was going to
Sorry.
say that that's true. We often get very passionate about our virtual aviation hobby, as it were, one of the things that I was really fascinated with because I know that I believe they did actually a full VATSIM setup while I was there, while the con was going on. Were you involved in that in any way?
I definitely observed it. I was kept quite busy both going to the seminars and talking to people, but I did have a chance to look around the venue, and some of the stuff they were doing was amazing. Not just VATSIM, but like Boston Virtual ATC had a massive trestle table set up with people, people flying, and acting as air traffic control. It was incredible to see.
And that's really one of the things I love about our hobby is the fact that there is so many facets to it. It's not just about being a pilot. You can, be the co-pilot. You can do the air traffic control, and there are so many facets to it, just like in real world aviation. And it sounds like that was really covered off as part of your experience there.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was an all-encompassing experience for sure.
So for an all-encompassing experience, I have to ask, what stands out for you as your personal highlight for the event, for the weekend when you were there?
Personally, for me, it was the panel discussion that was held on the first day. Had a couple of well, a lot of they were all well-respected people on the panel, such as Robert Randazza from PMDG. We had Peter Wright, Frugal, on there, representative from VATSIM and IVAO, and Air Daily X as well. It was that the discussion and the debate. It felt really good to know that people. I mean, it all comes back to people caring about the hobby, people being passionate about it.
And what were some of the, so we're very highlighting the passion there, and so what were some of the things that were talked about as part of that panel discussion?
Well, the theme of the panel discussion was the future of flight simulation. So it was very much about looking forward, looking at what X-Plane are doing, looking at what we here at DoveTail are doing, and how the third-party software developers as well are how they're planning to continue their business moving forward. Someone there, I forget who it was, described current times as a renaissance in flight sim, and I thought that was really poignant. And it definitely got me excited about what we're doing, what other people are doing, and I came away from the discussion with a very positive feeling.
Well, that's good. It's actually very interesting. I must admit that mentioning that we're in a renaissance of flight simulation at the moment, it's something I hadn't considered, but it is very appropriate, I think, at the moment. With the re-release with the release of FSX on Steam Edition, and it's sort of putting us into showing how popular a piece of software can be even after 7 years. It's amazing how much passion, as you said, can actually be brought into that. So yeah, it's great to see.
Yeah, definitely. It's I mean, I know we felt it here at DoveTail, and I mean, we're really excited to be working on the next step in terms of flight simulator. So.
And of course we're all awaiting for eager news of that next generation as well. I'll save that one for later. So so I have to ask, are there any other events that you will be attending that other people who weren't able to make it to FlightSimCon might be able to meet you at, and could you give you a bit of a Q&A on the spot about things that are happening?
Actually, it's not this coming weekend, but the weekend after. There is a flight simulation exhibition at the Helicopter Museum down at Weston-super-Mare in Somerset here in the UK. While we're not exhibiting, I'm definitely going to be there walking around talking to people. And also there's a Flight Sim 2015 at Cosford in October, which I plan on attending. That one's a bit of a special one for me. So
okay, so I was going to say, so the next one coming up is for Frantic Palm Trees, and the one after that one you said is you said the one at Cosford's very special for you. I'm curious, why is it very special for you?
Well, the first 2 years of that show, I helped organize it. I played a role in organizing it, and it's where my passion for flight sim really kind of came alive.
Well,
so
that's cool.
It's going to be a joy to attend that again.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I love about life, but life in general, but also especially sort of this small community. Well, it's not small; it's a very large community, a very global community. Is that we sort of come across people and events that we have passions and have roots in, and it's great to see that you get to be able to experience that again. So yeah, unfortunately, I will not be able to make it over to Cosford. I'm sorry. I would love to. It's a beautiful place. I have been there before when I was back over in the UK a few years ago, but maybe next time. All right, now speaking of those events, and and we've spoken about the passion that the panel discussion you were involved in, and the passion that people that you got to interact with feel, and that you experienced, and just got the general sense of. How important do you feel that community events and community events like the one coming up at Cosford and FlightSimCon, how important do you think they are, and how big of an impact do you think they have to the flight simulation community on a not only a local but on a global level?
I mean, to be completely honest, I think it's a vital part, especially with the community. I mean, it's the community, developers included, that have kept FSX alive for such a long time. And events are important because a lot of work that we do with third-party developers, with media such as PC Pilot, is done remotely, and it's important for our relationships with those people in order to be able to see them face to face, in order to sit down with them, have a chat, talk about flight simulation or anything else. It adds the human element to it, which is important in anything, not just flight sim.
Yeah, and you're right, that human interaction, and that's one of the things that I must admit, and I try and point out to people, that the multiplayer experience is that although we may not be sitting next to each other, at least we can co-pilot an aircraft from opposite sides of the world. So and having that human touch is an important part. So yeah, that's great to hear. And of course, the proverbial elephant in the room, of course, of the next generation of flight simulation. I'm not going to be like everybody else and ask for details. I know everybody's asked that question to death. But I'm curious, how do you find that? Like, how big of how important is it that the community interaction that that you and DoveTail are having? How important is that to the development of the next generation of flight simulation?
Well, again, I think it's extremely important. I think our viewpoint on that manifests itself in how we've taken care of FSX Steam Edition. I mean, we've asked the community what kind of updates they'd like. For example, offline mode. The community called for it, so we provided it. Yeah. With our updates, moving forward, we're doing public betas to make sure everything works, and also we're letting developers try our updates and stuff just to maintain compatibility with the add-ons that are compatible with FSX Steam Edition. I think through doing things like that, we've made it evident that it is quite important to us.
And engaging that community is, I personally believe that it is vital, and I think that it's a lesson that I think the predecessor of Microsoft failed to grasp in some of its releases, unfortunately. But it's really great to see, and it's really a confidence inspirer for me, and hopefully for all the viewers out there to know that. This new, you as the new developer for the new wave of flight simulation is actually talking to the grassroots and talking to the people who are going to make it and going to improve it and going to keep it alive and actually make sure they've got input into the development. So yeah, it's great to see. Well, Aimee, I've just got it's just pretty much for me. I was curious, do you have any closing thoughts or anything else that you'd like to add for this interview today?
No, it's just I mean, at DoveTail, we're going to keep on doing what we're doing, and we're really excited about things to come, and thank you for interviewing me.
Well, thank you very much for allowing me to interview today. Look, folks, it's been great. It's been great to say thank you very much to Aimee for joining us today, and don't forget to always like and subscribe to the channel here, and of course you can always keep up for updates. Don't forget to jump over to fsxinsider.com for all the latest updates for FSX Steam Edition, and of course for myself, don't forget to like and subscribe my channel, and also you can find me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright folks, thanks very much for joining me. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.